Hey guys, so a few days ago I put a video up called my top 10 anime of 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But today we're going to talk about my top 10 anime of the decade, which is, wow, really hard to do. So this list will have anime from between 2010 and 2019. And I didn't just want to put in anime that I had rated really high on my anime list. For example, I just didn't want it to be all the 10 out of 10s and then a few 9 out of 9s. I really wanted to pick stuff that I felt stood the test of time throughout the years and stuff that I would love to go back to and either rewatch or pick up some of the original source material, whether that be manga or visual novel. I also based it off of stuff that I feel like I still love and still would love to have more of, or stuff that I buy merchandise from as well. For example, like Madoka Magica was one of arguably the biggest anime series of the 2010s. However, even though I rated it a 9 out of 10 on my anime list, that was when I watched it way back in the day. So my opinions may have changed about that, and I can't say that I'm a huge Madoka Magica fan. So stuff like that has been kept off the list, and things that are on the list are more things that I personally enjoy and have grown to only love more. And remember, everything on this list is my opinion, so if I left out something that you adore, I'm really sorry, but it's my video. It's mine. It's my video. Starting with number 10 is 2011's Usagi Drop. Usagi Drop follows a character named Daikichi. He's a 30-year-old bachelor. He just goes to work and comes home alone. Doesn't really have much going for him in his life. He gets word that his grandfather passes away and ends up going to visit his family in order to have a funeral. When he gets to his family's place, who he normally doesn't have a lot of contact with, he realizes that 5 years ago, his grandfather actually had a daughter, an illegitimate child with one of his lovers. Obviously, this would come as a shock to anyone, and definitely Daikichi. But the big problem is that the family's almost embarrassed by the fact that they have this 5-year-old girl, and no one really wants to take responsibility of her. The grandfather was the main caretaker of her, but now that he's dead, she doesn't really have a main caretaker, and Daikichi's really surprised that his family would just act this way towards a 5-year-old girl. So he just says, you know what, I will take her home and I will adopt her and I will raise her as if she was my own. And he does that with no prior childcare experience. He takes this 5-year-old girl home and tries to raise her. The show is really heartwarming in a lot of places, and I really just enjoyed its easy on the eyes animation, great calming music, overall a really nice series. Number 9 is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. This show is not that old. It came out in late 2008, so it's just barely over a year old now. A lot of things could have gone wrong in this show. It is based off of a light novel, and sometimes what is presented in a light novel is not presented very well in anime form, but even though I haven't read the light novel for this show, I just think the presentation of it is amazing. In the world of this anime, there is a condition called adolescence syndrome. Adolescence syndrome takes place when really strange supernatural occurrences happen to teenagers. And the condition is something that Sakura, our main character, really believes in. And the first case you come across in the anime is Mai Sakurajima, who is a celebrity, and she has had problems where she is not able to be seen. For example, she goes to a library dressed up in a bunny suit, and no one there can see her. And you would think if a very popular celebrity showed up to any library in a bunny suit, there would obviously be stares and people probably harassing her and stuff like that, but nothing like that is happening. She's even been able to walk through crowds of people at stations and no one pays attention to her at all. And Sakura, the main character, even when no one else can see Mai, is the only one that can see her. And so he tries to figure out how to fix adolescence syndrome within Mai. The show does a really good job of basing each individual character's problems and putting them into an arc. So like the first 3 episodes are Mai and so on and so forth for different characters. If you're into things like Chunibyo, Clannad, stuff like that, this is really for you. The biggest thing this show has going for it is memorable characters for sure. And I believe there's supposed to be more. Hopefully the second season, there's definitely source material for it. I know there's a movie, which I haven't seen yet, but I really, really want to go see the movie. It's a really great show. Give it a chance. It's a quick 13 episodes. Number 8 is Nichijou, and I won't go too much into explaining this one because it is a hard show to explain. This 2011 show is also known as My Ordinary Life, and honestly, the title of the show is perfect because it just follows high school girls and high school characters throughout their daily lives and the weird, wacky things that happen throughout them. I think where this show excels is the randomosity of the comedy. And I'm not one of those people that watches a lot of comedy anime and is laughing until I cry or laughing until I'm in pain, but this show did it. And I think it's the timing of the jokes too that are perfect. I'd give a few first episodes a chance. I believe it's a 26 episode series. So, you know, go through 3 episodes, have some laughs. I promise you will probably keep going. Not to mention the artwork is really, really cute if you're into that thing. Number 7 is, kind of controversial. It is Oreimo. Oreimo is a show from 2010 that's also called My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute. So the 2 main characters are stepbrother and stepsister. We have Kirino Kosaka, who is the younger sister, and she is a model on the side as her job. She's a beautiful girl, and she's very popular at school. However, she has this secret where she's really into visual novels and anime and collecting figurines and manga, and she has this whole collection hidden up in her closet of anime DVDs and anime games. So this is something she wants to keep secret from her friends and people at school because, it can't ruin her image, right? Because of certain circumstances, her older stepbrother finds out that she is into all these things, and she's worried, oh man, he's gonna tell everyone. For Kyosuke, it's just, he's a little bit freaked out at first that his popular, beautiful little sister would be into things that are kind of degenerate, if we're honest. I think for me, I enjoyed the show a lot because even though this isn't the first show to take a character who wants to hide their otaku hobbies, I mean, that happened in Otaku no Video in the 80s, so this isn't the first time we've seen it, but it was my first time to see a character so into anime and games and figure collecting and stuff. But like she wanted to keep it a secret, and I've never been the type to really keep much of a secret, but I could see why people wanted to do that. I feel like she's a very relatable character. If you're someone who is embarrassed by liking certain nerdy things, you kind of keep it hidden. I feel like there's a lot of people out there. Kirino is a very relatable character, and I think that's the most important part of this show. Not to mention, Kirino's friend in the show, Kuroneko, is really cute. She is not ashamed at all of what she likes. In fact, she cosplays almost 24/7. She has like contacts in and a whole outfit. She just goes around the street and cosplay. She has no shame. Really great show. There's a second season as well. Just give it a chance. I know that there's a lot of weird things that you've probably seen on the internet about it, but I would just really watch it all the way through to actually judge it. Number 6 is 2015's Hibike Euphonium. This show I immediately knew I loved. I knew that it was releasing before it came out, and I wanted to watch the first episode almost the day it came out because I knew I would instantly relate to the characters because this is a show about a high school symphonic band. And I used to be in a symphonic band in high school. Not only that, I used to play Euphonium, which is what the main character Kumiko plays. I just love the fact that she's like a poofy, red-haired euphonium player, because that was me, okay? The show just basically follows this high school band that starts from zero. They're almost a laughingstock in the band community because they don't win awards, and they are really trying hard to prove themselves and get a golden award at a competition. If you're someone who was in marching band in high school, this is not a show you want to miss because you'll understand how these characters feel when they lose a competition, and you'll understand how much work these characters put into their music. I mean, band is hard, and this is shown in the series. And you'll also understand some of the jokes as well, as there's always band jokes. Best things about this show are obviously the music. The music can't be bad, right? That would make no sense. The music, animation, and the character building they're all great. There's 2 seasons and a movie, so I highly recommend everything I've ever gotten out of Hibike Euphonium has been amazing, and I think there's going to be more. It's under Kyoto Animation, so as you know, Kyoto Animation has had to delay a lot of things due to the fire that happened at their studio, but I believe they'll probably eventually pick it back up again. Oh, number 5 is 2016's Flipfloppers. Man, this show really went under the radar, I think. I know that I didn't really hear a lot of people talking about it when it was out. I think I saw a few tweets on Annie Twitter about it. Flipfloppers follows Coconut, who is the main character, where she is just a high school student who doesn't know like what she wants to do in the future, who she wants to be. She's kind of like, life is just kind of boring and useless, and there's, you know, no point in having fun or ever doing anything. She meets a strange girl named Papika, who's from an organization called Flipflap. She is taken into this very strange Madoka magical LSD type of world, let's just put it that way. And through certain events that happen, they become magical girls. I know what you're thinking, this sounds absolutely ridiculous. And in the beginning it is, but the first few episodes, or at least the first half of the series, is episodic. There's just like one case after another, or one problem after another, and it shows the relationship between Coconut and Papika growing, and it's honestly pretty happy-go-lucky, feel good in the first 6 or so episodes. But what you start to notice is each episode introduces a plot point, and those all come together near the end of the show. I think that was one of the best things about it, is how I didn't even notice how the show was puzzling the pieces of the ending together. Overall, a very satisfying anime. I was very satisfied with the ending. I was very satisfied with how the plot came out, and I think other than the characters and how the plot was written, my favorite thing about it is its style. The artistic style is really something that I don't see very much, and I really, really enjoy it. If you give one anime on this list a shot, I would say this would be the one. I would say Flipfloppers would be the one, because I think Flipfloppers has something for everyone. Magical girl fans, people who are fans of strange animation, strange stories, and each different episode too, like has one is like mystery, one has like horror aspects, and I think there's something in Flipfloppers that everyone can enjoy. 4 is also going to be controversial because half of you guys on the internet hated it. Number 4 is Darling in the Franxx, and whew, I just bet I lost a bunch of viewers off of that, because wow, you really love to hate this show. You know what? I'm not here to entertain the haters. I'm here to enjoy Darling in the Franxx. Darling in the Franxx takes place in a different world where teenagers are trained to fight in mechas, to fight these beings called Klaxosaurs. And the whole goal is to protect these cities or plantations from getting destroyed by these Klaxosaurs. And it's up to the children that are being trained in order to fight these Klaxosaurs. The children are basically given this promise that if they do what the adults tell them to do, if they fight these Klaxosaurs and run these mechas and just basically do what they're told, that eventually they'll get the prize, which is the freedom that you get when you become an adult. So all of them are just going through the motions with fighting these Klaxosaurs, trying to become adults. I don't want to go too far into it because I feel like episode 1 lays out a lot of interesting things that you should just watch and absorb for the first time. 2 main characters, Hiro and 02, basically fight together in a mecha against Klaxosaurs, and they feel like they work very, very well together. And it's basically just this story of what really is going on in the world, and the children's dream of becoming adults and living an easy life is not necessarily what they're promised. There's a lot of twists and turns and things in this series that I just cannot explain within like a minute. So give it a chance. I think a lot of people went into it thinking, oh man, Kill la Kill was great. It's by the same studio, Gurren Lagann. It was great too, and they had high hopes for Darling in the Franxx, and maybe were let down a bit. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the ending, and I enjoyed the last episode. A lot of people have problems with the ending. I thought it could not have ended more perfectly. Wow, I'm gonna lose a lot of viewers this way, but what can I say, man? I love it, and I'm not ashamed that I love Darling in the Franxx. I thought it was really good. Number 3 is 2018. Man, there's a lot of 2018s on here. There's a lot of good shows from 2018. It's 2018's Daru Camp. We have our main character, Rin, who loves going camping. And she usually just goes camping by herself. She takes her moped and she'll go up to the mountains, or usually to the foot of Mount Fuji, and she'll just camp there alone. One day she meets Nadeshiko, who is more of an outgoing character, whereas like Rin is very introverted and Nadeshiko is very not introverted. Nadeshiko becomes interested in camping and wanting to learn about camping and wants to follow Rin and camp with her and become friends. And at first Rin's not, you know, all that sure about bringing someone along camping with her, but they end up becoming really good friends, and Rin realizes, okay, like having more people to camp with is actually really, really fun. So it just follows these girls as they go camping. And it's really fun, and you learn a lot about camping, and it makes you want to go camping. One of the most interesting things about it is a lot of the locations in the show are real life locations near Mount Fuji, and it makes you want to go there. I want to go there, and I want to cook what they cook in the show, and I want to see the things that they see in the show. You guys know how much I love relaxing shows, and this one is no different. Daru Camp, I can say, just had like an impact on my life to where like I want to travel more and I want to give outdoor activities more a chance, and I feel like I learned a lot from it. You'll notice that these last 3 anime, like it's not even just that I watched it and enjoyed it, there was something in my like life that also changed, which sounds cheesy, but like that can happen. Number 2 is 2016's new game. Aoba Suzukaze is a high school graduate who gets her dream job. I mean, that never happens, by the way, but she gets her dream job at a video game company as an animator. She goes on the first day to her company called Eagle Jump and realizes that she is going to be working on the video game that she played when she was young. So for example, like think of your favorite video game and think about wanting to become an animator for something like that. Going to work on your first day and realizing, oh my gosh, like I get to work on Sonic Adventure 3, that's so cool, right? So that is the reality for Aoba Suzukaze. The whole show just follows this office building and these characters as they're working on this game, and they go to events to show off their game, and it's almost just like, what if The Office was cute moe anime girls working on video games? New Game to me, it inspired me to finish my own art portfolios. In the show, you see a lot of the girls working on Photoshop and other Adobe programs, and if you're a designer like that, the show can be very encouraging for you, and it can be very inspiring for you, and it was for me. I remember watching it and thinking, okay, well, I'm going to finish my art portfolio now, and I did just that because I got really inspired through New Game. There's 2 seasons of 12 episodes each, and I really hope there's going to be more. The manga keeps going. In fact, da-da! And it's also very funny and almost page for page what's in the anime, at least so far. And here we go. Number 1. What could it be? Number 1 is 2013's Nanan Biore. I don't want to get too serious here, but Nanan Biore really helped me out a lot in terms of my mental health. Nanan Biore is a show that just follows mainly just the 4 elementary school girls and their life in rural Japan. And when I say rural Japan, like I think I live in rural Japan. No, these girls really live in rural Japan. Like I can walk to a mainline station in 30 minutes. They have to take like a bus just to get to a dinky little station, to get to a station that actually like takes them somewhere. They really live far out in the country. And these girls are, they go to this school with only like 6 or 7 students, right? So it's very in the middle of nowhere, Japan. And one of the characters, Hotaru, is actually from Tokyo. So she grew up in Tokyo, and now she's having to get adjusted to this rural life. There's a lot of really heartwarming moments, or there's a lot of moments in the show that seem like that they would just be normal. Like for example, Renge, my favorite character, one of the episodes is her just learning how to ride a bike, and for some reason to me, that's just like really touching, and it's just happy-go-lucky, and I just love it. I watched the show during a time where I just like felt super depressed about everything, but watching this show just made me so happy, and it really kept my mind off of a lot of things. And you know how people say, wow, that anime killed my depression? Well, it certainly did. Almost anything I find that's not on Biore, I pick up. I want to buy some figures from the show and just some other things. The characters are very memorable to me too, and the situations that happen in the show. It's a show about nothing, but it's beautiful, and I just can't explain it if I understand that the show is not going to be for everyone, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you should totally watch it, because it isn't for everyone. It's for people who understand they're going to go into this and there's not gonna be a lot of dialogue, and there's not gonna be any action. There's not even gonna be a lot of plot. It's just going to be jokes and girls enjoying their time playing outside in rural Japan. That's it. But to me, I loved it. All right, guys, wow, that's it. That was a really hard list to make because there are so many good shows that I could have added or taken out. But there you have it. That is my top 10 anime of the decade. How about you guys? What would your top 10 anime of the decade be? I know it's really hard to do, but if you had to, what are they? I want to know what you guys think of my list. Do you think it was a great list? Do you think it was terrible and I should burn and die because my taste in anime is absolute garbage? Or did you think it was absolutely wonderful and you will definitely go watch Flipfloppers? Anyways, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. If you push the bell button near the subscribe button, it'll really help the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will play with you some other time. Bye!